Step therapy or fail first is a process where insurance companies can require a patient that their customer, their client, can require them to go through a certain type of therapy or the utilization of certain drugs before they get to other drugs or other therapies. And they have to fail on that first course of treatment before they can get to the second course of treatment. And the reason for that is to save money. Typically, they will require a patient to go through a less costly course of treatment, maybe generic drugs instead of a name brand, or some sort of medical procedure that isn't quite as involved as a subsequent procedure may be. And the idea is to make sure that that cheaper course of treatment won't work, and then you go to the second course of treatment. Well, the problem is that a lot of times people have already tried the cheaper course first, and they're in a course of treatment on a particular drug that works for them at the current time. Everything's fine. And insurance company then comes in and says, no, before we let you continue on this, you got to go back to the first method. And that can be dangerous for people's health. So what the bill would do would be to allow physicians to override an insurance company's step therapy requirement when the health of their patient would be jeopardized. And I filed the bill last year as well, and it didn't move in the House. It moved in the Senate, great. And then again, this session I filed it again. It didn't move in the House, and it moved in the Senate as well. So it's it's a very important healthcare issue for people. And I'll probably, if I'm so fortunate to be able to come back and represent my constituents back home, I'll probably try it again next year.
Tell us an example of maybe a case you've heard about where the insurance people being kind of overlords of a care plan for somebody and how it didn't work and how it could impact people's lives.
Yeah, sure. There's lots and lots of case studies out there. If you talk to any physician in the state of Florida, they're going to tell you this is a problem. But let's just say something as simple as an elderly person who's on blood pressure medication, and they say that they get a new insurance company, or else their insurance company changes the formulary for certain drugs, and the blood pressure medication for that person is no longer going to be covered until they try a different therapy first. Well, let's say that they say, all right, you're going to try X product before we let you go to Y product, and the person has already tried X product. Maybe it was cheaper, maybe it was a generic form. And they say, no, I don't want to try X product because I've tried it before, it doesn't work, and it's going to be dangerous for me. And insurance company says, no, you're going to try X first before we let you go back to Y. Well, that's obviously dangerous. You could jeopardize that person's health. And so I'm all for saving money, and when generic medicine works just as good as name brand, that's fine. You should go to generic. But if your doctor says to your insurance company, this is going to put my patient's health in jeopardy, then your doctor should be able to override that. If your insurance company covers this drug and they just don't want to let you use it because it'd be cheaper to cover another drug, then you're not getting what you paid for when you pay your insurance company's premiums. So I think that the patient and the doctor should have some say in their health care.